A very warm welcome to you. Many thanks for joining us on the program this week. As you know, we are your source for all the latest happening in the world of business. My name is Faith Owode, standing in for Maggie Usiobo. Welcome. On the lineup this week, first we'll bring you the exclusive interview I had with Mr. Silvan A. Chief Executive Officer, Risk Institute, United Arab Emirates, on the CEO Rendezvous, where we looked at attracting and retaining skilled and qualified personnel in the insurance industry. Speaking in the course of the interview, Mr. Said noted that if insurance companies fail to prioritize investment on human capital development, they will lose market share. Do take a listen.
They don't spend money to maintain their human capital, they're going to lose market share, they're going to lose brand, they're going to lose reputation. On
the lineup also, we'll bring you highlights of the 50th Annual General Meeting of Law Union and Rock Insurance PLC that took place recently at the Ajib Recital Hall, Musa Center here in Lagos. The annual general meeting afforded shareholders of the company and the board to deliberate on how to move the company forward. Speaking during the annual general meeting, the chairman of the board of the company, Mr. Remi Babalola, noted that all stakeholders must engage regulators for the progress of the insurance industry. Do take a listen.
We need to engage the regulators. All the stakeholders need to work together to make sure that we progress this industry.
Plus, of course, all the other extras will bring you each week on the program. So I urge you, as always, to sit back, relax, and enjoy the lineup. Details in just a moment. Please stay with us. All right, we're still at the 14th World Insurance and Tech Conference here in Dubai. I've managed to steal Mr. Silvan here on the one-on-one interview. My guest is Mr. Silvan A. Said, who's a chartered insurance practitioner and managing director, Risk Institute, based here in the UAE. Thank you so very much, sir, for joining us.
Thank you for the invitation.
Okay, now I want to quickly start by asking the 21st century insurance industry is faced with numerous challenges, but it does appear that chief of those challenges is the dearth of human capital in the insurance industry, from Africa to Asia, and even the Middle East. Even in the UK, in the US, it's the same problem. But I just want to find out from you, what do you think is responsible for this dearth of human capital in the insurance industry?
I think basically, in a very short sentence, it's the image of the industry. I think over the years, the image of the industry has been this traditional men in blue and suits who are very stern and who collect money
and don't give
pay
back.
Claims. So, so basically people giving an option will go for something a little bit more, perhaps, imaginative. And I think, the industry doesn't come across as imaginative, which has been a perennial problem for many years. But I personally, being involved in development of human capital for the last 15 years across in Europe and the Middle East, I think it's changing, not as fast as one wants it to change, but it is changing. What the industry needs to do is to come across to people, especially the millennials, as offering very exciting and challenging career prospects, not as insurance people only. We have to also bear in mind that more than, let's say at least 50% of people who work in the industry are not insurance
people.
So the industry generates a lot of employment for people now in the tech. It's becoming, of course, very important. People from actuarial background become very important. People with a regulatory perspective, So I think the image of the industry needs to change, and we need to appear to be a little bit more proactive and less about men in blue striped suits and more about people who are out there to provide solutions for ordinary people.
Okay, now, Mr. Silvan, and that's where the problem is, because the image problem you talked about is not just for those who want to buy insurance. It's also affecting the industry and the caliber of personnel that they are able to attract to the industry. So now it's, as I said, it's a twin-headed problem for them. How do you think they can overcome this challenge of attracting not core insurance practitioners, but all the professionals whose services are also, or skills are also needed in the insurance industry, but other sectors are also competing with this for this crop of personnel in other sectors that appears to be more lively than the insurance industry?
Basically, it's the same for customers. I mean, insurance companies have to engage with customers. But in reality, the industry doesn't engage a lot with customers. We pay our insurance once a year. If we have a claim, we make a claim. So if you look at that angle, insurers also need to change the game. We need to get our customers more engaged. And it's the same thing, in my view, with human capital. We need to get youngsters more engaged. We need to get people who have skills in data science, skills in legal, to understand a little bit more and to be more engaged, if you like. I use this word, engaged, in how insurance works and why it is there, and what are the benefits of insurance to society. And then when I think when that kind of starts filtering through, and the brand insurance starts coming across as something more friendly, something more usable, something that we need not because the law says so, but we need because we need to plan our futures and we need to have financial planning and this. I think we will see more demand. I mean, if I take the example of the industry here, the biggest number of people who are coming into our institute are people who came to look for a job in Dubai. And over here people come on a 3-month visa looking for a job. They get a job in insurance not because they came to work in insurance, but they got a job in insurance. But within a year they like it and they come to us to learn more. They come to us to become professionals with CII qualifications and all that. So there is something. I mean, I've been in the industry for 36 years. Somehow I stuck with it. I would never move out of the industry, whether as a trainer, as a consultant, as a manager. Once you're in it and you get into how it works, what it can do for society, how we can develop our products, how we can engage our customers, then it becomes much more interesting to work within the industry. Okay. So it's this bridge between getting people into it that we need to solve, and it's the image we need to.
Okay, finally, Mr. Silvan, for those who are already in the insurance industry, one other challenge that I see in my region where I come from, training and retraining of personnel. It's oftentimes not a priority. And you find in companies when they analyze their budget for a year, the slice that goes for training is usually the smallest. And if any other thing comes to offset the budget for the year, the budget for training is usually the first to be kicked aside. But so with that kind of mindset, how do you think they can actually develop this industry and get it? Because do not forget, some of the old hands, the old professionals, they are getting older and most of them are retiring. And it's even in my country, it's beginning to show. In some, those that were specialists in some lines of insurance business in the 80s, in the 90s, they are no longer in the business. So today what you find are people who just come they really don't have the in-depth knowledge of professionalism, or what was there last year, what's the rate, and that's how can they overcome this challenge?
Well, many times people, HR managers, ask me, so I'm going to spend all this money on training. How am I going to realize whether it's worthwhile or not? And I give two examples. The first example is, would you prefer to have 10 people in your department who are doing the work full of mistakes? Or would you like to have 6 people who are doing the work well? I think 6 people who are doing the work well is probably more economic and more effective and better customer relationship. So you need to train those 6 people and get rid of the extra 4. I know it sounds harsh, but that's the reality. I mean, it's better to be more efficient, otherwise the business won't survive. So, in my view, training is an investment, and the companies need to realize that there is a return in investment in cost saving, one, but more importantly in customer relationships. Building that customer relationship, you can't do it with people who are not trained to do it. And the other point I make in my sales pitch for training, is if you are a manufacturing company and you're investing $1 million or whatever you want in machinery, you then have to say, I need 20% budget for maintenance. So are you at least maintaining that budget? Like, if you're going to maintain machinery, you still have to maintain training for people in insurance. We don't maintain machinery in insurance. We throw away our computers, we buy new ones. But human resources, we have to maintain them. And unless we realize that that maintenance has to be, or rather not we realize, the top management realize that maintenance is, or rather that the training that goes into their human resources is as important as the maintenance that manufacturing companies spend on machines. What happens if they don't have preventive maintenance on machines in manufacturing company? The machines break down, the company produces bad products. It's the same with insurance. If the companies do not prioritize this training, which is the maintenance of their human resources, things go wrong, they lose market share, they lose their brand. So I try to, when I'm speaking to HR and even CEOs, I try to show them, I mean they know, but emphasize this aspect that if they don't spend money to maintain their human capital, they're going to lose market share, they're going to lose brand, they're going to lose reputation, because people make mistakes in a very sensitive industry. But I have to say that in my experience, let's say 50% of the companies I have met, and I have met a lot of companies in conference, etc., are serious about it. Are serious about it, and they maintain a reasonable budget. One point I want to make. Many times they ask me, what is a reasonable budget? And to me, a reasonable budget is another month's salary on each employee. So if you're paying a salary of X over a year, you have to calculate that 12X is for salaries, 1X is for training. That's a reasonable ballpark budget.
Thank you so very much, Mr. Silvan, for talking to us. Thank you very much. Alright, welcome back. Moving on, we now bring you highlights of the 50th Annual General Meeting of Law Union and Rock Insurance PLC that took place recently at the Moson Center here in Lagos. The 50th Annual General Meeting witnessed the highest number of shareholders of the company in attendance in the last 10 years. Happy viewing.
Law Union and Rock Insurance PLC is one of the first generation insurance companies to open office in Nigeria more than 6 decades ago. Listed in 1990 on the floors of the Nigerian Stock Exchange, the company is today fully owned by Nigerians, with Mr. Remi Babalola sitting on top of the board as chairman. The 50th annual general meeting of the company was recently held at the Ajib Recital Hall, Muson Center, Onikan, Lagos, where shareholders and the board of the company deliberated on how to move the company forward. Having welcomed shareholders to the meeting, the chairman of the board, Mr. Remi Babalola, set the tone for proceedings at the AGM.
Distinguished shareholders, can I now call on the company secretary to read the notice convening this meeting? I would like to inform all members that the register of members is available for inspection during the meeting in accordance with Section 275 of Section 8 of Companies and Allied Matters Act 1990 as amended. Second, the motion. Raise a point. Please, we will appreciate if you state your name in full so that we can capture it in our documentation before speaking. Please. I now request the company secretary to read the notice convening this meeting. Company secretary, please.
Presenting the independent auditor's report, Mrs. Yetunde Odetayo of Deloitte & Touchy affirmed that the financial statement gave a fair view of the financial position of Law Union and Rock Insurance PLC as of 31st of December 2018.
We have audited the accompanying financial statements of Law Union and Rock Insurance PLC, which comprise the statements of financial position as of 31st December 2018, the statement of profit or loss and other comprehensive income, statements of changes in equity, statements of cash flows for the year then ended, and the notes to the financial statements, including summary of significant accounting policies. In our opinion, the financial statement gives a true and fair view of the financial position of Law Union and Rock Insurance PLC as of 31st December 2018, and the financial performance and the cash flow for the year then ended.
With the auditor's report and statutory audit committee taken, shareholders were given opportunity to ask questions and make contributions on how to move the company forward.
2 kobo will not be enough for people to take medical care of themselves. We're getting here. If you have 500,000 units here today, how much are you taking home? 2 kobo. Mr. Chairman, we need to improve this. It is not every year they ask you to recapitalize. Bring the money. Bring the money. Have that solved the problem of the insurance sector? Have they solved our problem? No. Rather, it's compounding the problem.
Despite the tough operating environment, the company still recorded a modest result of more than 117% increase in net benefits and claims. The company achieved a gross premium income of 4.541 billion naira, up by 6.79% from 4.252 billion naira in 2017. Profit before tax dropped by 55.4%, 0.490 billion naira from 1.099 billion naira in 2017. Total assets of the company grew by 12% to 11.213 billion naira from 10.032 billion naira in 2017, while the shareholders' fund fell by 1.4% from 6.465 billion naira in 2017 to 6.372 billion naira in 2018. Profit after tax dropped significantly from 910.707 million naira in 2017 to 163.593 million naira in 2018. Underwriting profit also dropped by 46% from 1.182 billion naira in 2017 to 638 million naira in 2018. Earnings per share also dropped from 21 kobo in 2017 to 6 kobo in 2018. A dividend of 2 kobo was approved at the end of the meeting by shareholders. Mr. Obina Onukwo, non-executive director, the managing director, Mr. Demayowa Adeduro, and the executive director, technical and operations, Mr. Olasopo Shogelola, expressed optimism about the company's operations going forward.
When the new board came by virtue of the acquisition from the previous Skybank and took over, we changed the focus of the company, all right? And then we focus more on creating value for shareholders. And at the heart of that value creation exercise is how you manage your investment income, is how you manage efficiency, and it's how you grow the top line. So if you notice for the company, even though the top line has been growing at a marginal rate, the value creation and shareholders funds has been growing more than that, and that showed that the board has been focused on making sure that we are more efficient at what we do, and making sure that the turnaround exercise in the company is going on as smoothly as possible, and that the management are alive to their responsibilities, and that has worked out well. So last year we paid a dividend, this year we paid another dividend, and we're working towards ensuring that trend also continues.
Law Union and ROC, for the short of saying we are number one, I will say we belong to the top 5 in terms of ability to pay claim and the willingness to pay claim. We have been rated by Global Credit Rating in South Africa with A- in ability to pay claim. So it shows that consistently, Law Union has been meeting and fulfilling the obligation of our claimant in paying claim. So far this year, we've paid close to 800 million in terms of claim, and we're just talking about May. So, and consistently we've been paying claim. Last year we paid about 1.6 billion naira in claim out of our 4.5 billion naira top line gross premium reaching.
On products, we have quite a number of products on the table now. Some are lying with the regulator, and I'm sure within the next 1 month we'll be able to bring them out. Currently, we have rejected our TPA, that's the Teenagers Personal Accident. We have rejected our travel, we have just been signed on the travel insurance portfolio, so which gives us access to worldwide travel, and we have the local travel. Now we're marketing them massively. We want to partner with state governments, we want to partner with local authorities, we want to partner with schools, we want to partner with as many people as possible, as many groups as possible for distribution of all these products. What matters when you look at retail is the structure. Structure have to be built, and when structures are built, they run. And then we are also looking at introducing competitive marketing within the system, so that people have groups can compete with each other within, and then this will give us a leap in our sales.
Shareholders also used the occasion of the AGM to re-elect some directors on the board of the company. Interested, the 50th annual general meeting recorded the highest number of shareholders in attendance in the last 10 years. Law Union and ROC Insurance PLC, with A credit rating, is one of the top claims-paying insurance companies in Nigeria, with a strong foothold in engineering, oil and gas, and power sector underwriting in the country.
And that's our time on the program this week. Many thanks for being a part of it. Do feel free to join us again, same time, same station next week for a fresh package. In the meantime, we encourage you to join us on all our social media platforms. My name is Faith Uwode. Until same time, same station next week, I leave you with our parting shot. This week, Kevin Saab at the 2018 Insurance Industry and Consumers Night. Bye-bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, Davido sang a song titled Fire. We dey enjoy the song, the sweet, they go, we dey enjoy them. I can't imagine, say, Catholic Church can't decide to sing this song. When I know the way, those of you that attend Catholic, when I know as on a church be now. I go Catholic Church, I don't know say they don't close. I dey wait for the grace. I don't know say when Father they do go away, me will go house. I don't know say don't drive us. Now imagine Catholic Church decide to sing Davido song Fire. The way it go sound, even you go shock. They go just put the beat, simple. Bring an asper, bring an asper. Obio, baddest. Shorty want $1 million. Say make a wire. Turn me to undercover murder. She said all our friends are living la vida loca. If I'm here, me my love. Now you hear the chorus.
Fire, fire.
I love you.
Fire,
No
fire.
man say make I put one hand
Fire,
for.
fire.
I love you.
Fire,
No
fire.
man say make I put one leg
Fire,
for.
fire.
I love you.
Fire,
No
fire.
man say make I put one hand
Fire,
for.
fire.
I love you.
Fire,
No
fire.
man say make I put one leg for fire.
Chukura kiloko seo, shuku shika, haya shumeko. Carolina Savior.